Hi, my name is Merit, and today we're going to find out if you can be okay with giving 80% instead of 100. Today's practice is geared towards making you experiment a little bit with taking a step back from your absolute best. A lot of the times people assume that when we give our best, we have to show up at 100%. But a lot of people actually just show up at 75, and that's totally okay. And I would like to encourage you to take this mindset into your yoga practice. So a little bit less strict, a little bit less perfectionistic, a little bit less focused on the outcome and more about how it makes you feel. And so without further ado, let's just get started. All we're going to need for today's yoga practice is a blanket. So we're going to set our blanket at the top of our mat, and we're just going to come all the way down on our backs, starting in a reclined position today for our 80% instead of 100% yoga practice. You can keep your knees bent and pointed up towards the ceiling, and just start to tune into your back and your feet on the ground. If the blanket doesn't feel good under your head, you can always remove it. The reason we have a blanket under our head is to just really practice this comfort aspect, making sure we prioritize, that we feel okay in moments, even if we are giving our best at 75% or 80%. If you don't look out for yourself, nobody will. Deepen your breath. See if you can draw your breaths all the way down into your belly. Release them out the mouth. And then from here, we're just going to bring the right leg in towards the chest. You can lengthen out the left leg towards the bottom of the mat. And maybe you want to rock that leg side to side. And this is the first moment you can check in with yourself. How far are you pulling that leg in? Are you really cramming that leg towards you, or can you give yourself a little bit of room? The truth is that in yoga, a lot of the time, less is more. Check in with yourself. Or how fast are you rocking side to side, and can you slow it down? And if this is new to you, this kind of reduction of effort, just take note. Be kind with yourself. Take some time to learn this. Give yourself a little bit of grace. From here, we're going to bring the right foot inside the left leg for a reclined tree pose. You can bring your arms either out to the side, or maybe it would feel good to bring them up overhead, maybe holding on to the opposite wrist with your hand. And relax into the ground. If tree pose is a part of your standing practice, maybe just note how it feels to do a tree on the ground. Letting go of all effort here. Perhaps really savoring the elegance of this pose, even on your back. On your next inhale, we're going to point both legs up towards the ceiling again, or both knees. Maybe shift your hips side to side, and then we're going to draw the left leg in towards the chest, right leg goes out long. And again, practice the same thing we did on the other side. Maybe just notice what your automatic way of doing this pose is. So did you draw the knee in very tightly? And if so, can you let go a little bit? Can you give yourself a bit more room for your belly? Can you allow yourself to slow down, to do less? And instead of focusing on productivity in this practice, or any achievements or outcomes, can you focus on how you feel, how this makes you feel in your own unique body? Give yourself permission to just be here in the moment, savoring the present moment. And then we're going to bring the left leg on the inside of the right leg for your reclined tree pose. And perhaps you want to choose a different arm variation. Maybe you want to bring the hands to the hips. Maybe you want to bring the arms out to the side. It's yogi's choice. Do what feels best to you. And don't forget to breathe. Sometimes just taking the time to breathe can be very, very wonderful in our very productivity-focused world. To come back to something so basic as the breath. One of the most essential functions our body is performing all the time for us. We don't even have to think about it. And as we focus on the breath, just check in with yourself. Are you making yourself breathe harder? Are you making yourself breathe deeper than feels comfortable? And can you make it so that you feel comfortable? Can you breathe in a way that feels natural, relaxing, comforting to you? Two more breaths here. Last inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth, let it go. And then you can bring both knees up towards the ceiling one more time. We're going to bring the arms by the side of our body. Your hands can face down. Walk your heels a little bit in towards your glutes, and then we're going to, on an inhale, actually perhaps remove the blanket first in case this feels bad for your neck. But on an inhale, you're going to push into your feet and lift the hips up towards the ceiling. And notice where you usually go and where you might want to go. So perhaps you want to push until your hips go all the way up. But maybe backpedal a little bit and see if you can do a bridge that goes to 75%. Hold it here. Or perhaps you want to do a bridge that's 50%. Notice the difference. For me, this is still hard. Different muscles are working. Maybe we can try to reduce it a little bit more. What about if we go to 25% of effort? What about 2%? Floating just barely off the mat. Pushing into all your toes, all your fingers. One more exhale wherever you're at. And then release, bridge pose. Beautiful. You can bring your knees in towards your chest. Notice how far you pull them in. Is this really what feels good to you, or do you want to experiment with having them a little further out, giving yourself permission to explore. Then we're going to widen the legs, and perhaps you stay here for your happy baby, just holding on to your knees, maybe even using your elbows as a bit of a prop. Breathing here, and then noticing if you feel that pull, that productive pull to go to the fullest expression of the pose, as some people say, where you want to really hold onto your feet and push the knees open. And if you want, you can go to this 100% effort version of the pose, and then consciously decide to back it up. Maybe that means you're here, holding onto the ankles. Maybe your 75% or 80% is here. Maybe you want to dial it back to 50% and close the knees, giving yourself a hug. The point of this practice really is to notice your choice, your freedom of choice. You have autonomy. The more room you can create in between an impulse and the reaction, the better you can choose what you actually want to do. A little bit more space will mean more autonomy, more freedom of choice. One more breath here. Exhale out the mouth. And then you can bring your feet back down to the mat. Roll over to one side. Push yourself off the ground. Come to a comfortable seat. Notice if you're giving yourself a choice of seat here, or if you go to your usual seat. Actually, I might do the same. I'm going to sit on my heels today. Find a place for your hands to rest, maybe on your belly, maybe on your legs. Take one more breath here through the nose. And exhale out the mouth. And notice how you're feeling now. Notice how this practice was for you. Was it easier than you thought? Did you find it a little bit harder than you thought? Was backing up a bit of a challenge for you? And then perhaps offering yourself a hug of kindness, of compassion. These things take time to learn. Give yourself grace if it's hard. It's quite a tough nut to crack, learning how to be soft in a society that can be so harsh and demanding. Then you can bring your hands to your heart, Anjali Mudra at the heart. Bow into yourself. Give yourself thanks for practicing this skill that is so important for mental well-being, physical well-being. And I thank you for practicing with me. If you like this video, feel free to leave me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, click the bell button to be notified of videos that I put out. And I hope to see you soon. Bye. Thank you for practicing with me.